a few tricks. Sipping on the brew while we jump, flip, and kick.
Welcome to Coffee and Choreo. I'm Caitlin.
I'm Cassidy.
And I'm Katie. This week we're talking about healthy competition with, other gyms in the area and what good sportsmanship looks like.
Mm-hmm. Do y'all have don't say your biggest competitor, but do y'all have someone that has shown unsportsmanlike conduct at competition?
Okay, at competition, yes.
Yes.
I feel like we're pretty blessed in the area to not have another
Close area.
like close. I mean, within
within
like
an
20-mile radius,
yeah.
another program that does all-star cheer at the level we do.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other gyms outside of that radius that do. I'm not saying I wouldn't consider them competition, but we definitely have a different customer base.
Right.
So it's not like it's overlapping by much, maybe like a town or two.
Mm-hmm.
But at competition, yeah, we've experienced some pretty nasty sportsmanship from some other gyms.
Very
and I'm
early
gonna let
on,
Cassidy tell
too.
that story
Oh,
because
God. Yeah.
it involved her more than me.
Wait. Are we talking about...
Yeah, we're talking
Okay.
about that one competition in San Antonio.
Okay. So this competition was at the end of the season, and pretty much we were there to kind of like solidify like our bid for the season and all that kind of stuff. So when we went, we knew we were going to be going against a certain gym that this was only season 2, by the way, too. So like this is still like we're a new gym. We haven't had even the chance for many gyms to even get to know us competitively or anything. And this one gym, I don't know why, but like that entire season, they were just so like snooty. And like the athletes, like they would come off the floor and would just be like, like in their faces, like on purpose, kind of like making it known like whether they did good or not.
Right.
And so it was just kind of like animosity or like awkwardness like at competition with our athletes being around them. Like our athletes just didn't like the way that they would present themselves, and they would let me and Katie know that, but obviously our thing was you don't speak to them, you don't say nothing to them, you don't act that way, like you're better than that, don't do that.
Keeping it classy.
And they were. The kids never did anything wrong.
But we also kind of threaten our kids in that sense. Like, I'm like, I don't ever want to hear you talk bad about another gym.
Yeah.
I don't want you to talk about anybody else's performance. That is just karma waiting to happen.
Yes.
I think even at the same competition, I think a couple of our girls were upset and starting to talk about it. And in front of their parents and everything, I was like, absolutely not. Cut it out. You're not going to talk negatively about another team because they're just kids too.
Yeah.
So,
They're just being coached differently than y'all are.
Right.
Yeah.
And these kids, they competed, and the other team competed, and they had like half of their pyramid crash at the end of their routine, and then our kids competed and they hit. So of course there was going to be even more little animosity with that other team. And they our kids came up to us and was like, hey, like we had an athlete or a parent from that other team come over to us and ask us what our score was, because they needed to know if it was worth their time staying or not. And I'm like, they literally straight up asked you like what our score was. Like, first, we don't tell our kids their scores until after competition because they don't need to worry about that. And so of course they were like, our judges don't tell it, our coaches don't tell us that, like, sorry, like, don't know what to tell you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like how, like, and the coaches were standing right there, and they like reported back to their coaches. And then their coaches were just like staring at us the whole day, like giving us ugly faces, just being really rude, whatever. And so we told the judges of the competition kind of like what was happening and all this kind of stuff, that we don't appreciate, kids coming after other kids and all that kind of stuff. And we were at awards, and Lord only knows how this happened. The other team still ended up beating us
by like less than 1/10 of a point.
Yeah, like very, 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 very small margin. And when our team was called in second place, the other kids started pointing at them and was laughing at them and mimicking kids who were crying. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like straight up mimicking and laughing at other kids who were crying. And it's a jump on. And So once we saw that, we reported back to the judges, and the judges had said yes, they seen it, that they were going to do something about it. What was done, we
Doubt
don't really
it.
know.
Yeah.
But that was kind of like our first actual competition where someone as a gym in whole, like the coaches and the kids and the parents, were just outright like terrible sportsmanship. Was not like, you can clearly see like the right morals had not been taught to those kids on how to behave at a competition. Like, it was not good at all. I mean, I cried when I got home to Riley because I felt like a failure to those kids. Like, I don't know why. Like, I felt like I let them down. Like, it should have been an easy win. And then they had to deal with that on top of it. And so that was the first time that we've dealt with animosity. And we still have animosity with that gym. It hasn't gone away.
Well, what's really sad is...
But I kind of believe in karma, and I think they've gotten a little bit of karma for kind of what they've done. So, you know, I don't ever wish for the kids of that program to, you know, have to deal with the consequences of their coaches' actions. But, you know, in the end, those coaches need to have the best interest of their kids at heart. And sometimes I don't think they do. Yeah. So.
Well, that's where the kids learn it from them. That's their leaders.
And we weren't the only gym who's had issues with them. We have some friends throughout the industry that have straight up texted me when things have happened with that other gym, like, oh my god, did you see this? Like, the same issues. And the thing is my friend, his gym is in the same area as that other gym. So they see each other a lot. There's a lot of things there. We are much further away, but still at competition there was always issues.
But I think that coaches and athletes who act in that manner at a competition, it just comes from a place of insecurity. Because I mean, if you're good, like, there's gyms, like, I know we've mentioned United Elite before. I remember they were behind us at a competition, and we were about to go backstage, and like, these teams are like flawless. Like, they were the most humble. They were so nice. The coaches talked to us. The kids were wishing us good luck. Like, just genuinely sweet, and they spanked everybody's butt at that competition. You know, so being good does not being good does not give you an excuse to be nasty.
And you would think that like the coaches would realize that, because like me, like, I'm not a parent, but if I was, I would want my kid to go to that gym, the one that they're treating the way
you'd be
others.
surprised.
You would be so surprised.
But, you'd be so surprised.
Yeah, well, it is
I've seen comments from some people who go to that program, and they're like, well, they have results. They get results. And I'm like,
I don't care what the coaches say to my kid or do to my kid.
What are you teaching that kid?
They don't care.
That's okay to do that. I mean, that's
you win at whatever means necessary, whether you were verbally abused, traumatized, doesn't matter. At least you're going to win.
Yeah, well.
That's
sorry, I ain't doing that.
No.
And then some people do it, and then they don't win.
Yeah. Period.
I know you have a little bit more competition in the area. How's that experience been for you?
Into the competition knowing it wasn't going to be like the best atmosphere, but I went in like with my head held high, and that's exactly what I told my dancer to do. And like, you talk to everyone, you clap for everyone, you cheer on everyone, and you can hang out with them at awards. Like, you just be a kid. But with the other studio in the area, it wasn't that way. It was like, don't make eye contact with them, don't look at them, don't cheer them on, and stuff like that. And that just, what'd you say?
I said, wowzers.
Yeah, it was very, and that's just how it's been this year. Just like things that I've heard, they're talking to their kids about us as a whole and me. It's just not, it doesn't look good, and I just wish they'd realize that the way they're talking about another studio and the kids that go to the studio and teacher, like, what is that teaching that kid?
I will preach until the day I die that if you need to talk negatively about another gym, another studio, another program in order to secure kids, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
You know, you're, like, who you are as a person, the atmosphere of your program, you know, your success and your failures is going to be what defines you as a program. So, like, that's going to be whether or not someone wants to come here. Not because I talked mess about XYZ down the street, so,
right.
you know.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I mean, y'all both were parents, like, from a parent's perspective, like, if you heard that talking about, I mean, and Bastrop's small. I don't think some people like, we're big but small, but everyone knows everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
You say one thing, it's gonna go around, and I just don't think that has come to conclusion with this one studio, that she's talking bad about 12-year-olds and 11-year-olds, and it's just, she's putting a bad rap on her name. And so that's why I teach our kids here, when you go to competitions, we don't talk bad about them. We have our comments and stuff like that from what we hear, but the sportsmanship is there in the studio and outside of it.
Have you dealt with anything social media wise, like posted on social media about?
I've never done anything purposely, but something was done last year. We had went to a competition, and I just went with my independent dancer, and she took home first. And there was a post made by a studio in the area about, she said clean sweep or something, and that she's raising real dancers that have real technique, and it was just very targeted. And then that next competition, my independent dancer won the technique award. I'm not even joking.
Oh
So when we talk about karma,
Karma.
y'all, it's real.
Yeah. And so when we saw that post, though, and I talked to the dancer, and we
sleep. Trying to wake them up.
you just have to look at it, and honestly, it fueled our fire, and you just gotta be the bigger person about it, and just let it make you better, which it did.
Yeah, we had, speaking of social media, we had a gym. You know exactly. We had a gym. Like I said, I don't want to say we don't have big competition in the area, because there are other programs that do tumbling. So, we have competition when it comes to tumbling. But when it comes to, like, an all-star program, we really don't. Like I said, the closest one is probably 25 miles away. But anyways, this other program was verbatim. Took a Facebook post we had. I kid you not, copy and pasted it. And, like, just changed it to say, like, their company and everything else. And we're reading it, and we're like, whoa, hold up. Pull up ours. And, I kid you not, like, the emojis were the same. Yeah. Like, the order of how it was worded was the exact same. Like, even the ending, we said, let's go Aces, and theirs was, let's go
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And so we were like, is that a compliment?
That's what
I'll
I
take
was
that as a
saying.
compliment.
Take that as a compliment, because that.
I think I sent it to Cassidy, and I was like, does this mean we made it?
I was literally sitting and planning with my other teachers, and I was like, oh my God. And
Cassidy
like,
worked so
what?
hard on that post, y'all.
I did. I was like, y'all. So I made this post. Totally got my teachers off topic, but what's new? I was like, oh my God, I made this post. Like, look at my post. And they all, like, read it and looked at it, and I said, now look at what this gym posted. And they're like, oh, they literally copied it. And I was like, yes.
And it wasn't like that could have been a coincidence. It was like,
it was a long post.
yeah, it was a long post. Like, it was a,
and it had bullet
couple
points.
paragraph bullet points, like, all of it. Yeah.
And it was about tryout season.
But honestly, I have no hard feelings. I have, like, no hard feelings for that gym.
I know
so.
about popular. I've been singing that song all week because Wicked's coming out.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, still, I have no animosity towards that gym. I have no animosity, if any of local gyms are listening to this, I have no animosity towards any gym here. I know I've been a negative word in some of y'all's mouths, but honestly, like, to me, it doesn't bother me, because I can understand from a business owner perspective to be protective of your company. But then again, I'm just not the type of person that's going to talk badly about someone else in order to secure my place and make me feel better.
We try really hard to be the role model for our kids. So if me and Katie are sitting here, bashing other coaches, or worse, bashing children, then what are our kids going to do? The same thing.
Right.
And that's literally what we tell them not to do. Like, we not only have competition in the state of Texas, but, like, since we travel to bigger competitions, go to bigger competitions, you ultimately end up having competition from other states. Yeah. And so one of our teams, I guess you could say, has a big competitor out of state, because their division is so rare. There's only so many teams in that division, so they all know each other.
Right.
And they're a good program, too.
They are. And we competed against them last year, and, you know, we had to beat them at NCA, and then they turned around and beat us at U Summit. And there was a post made
on TikTok
about our new practice wear because they were pink.
I remember
And so we put the Barbie Girl song with it because, you know, Barbie's been more popular lately since the movie. The practice wear is pink.
They look like Barbies.
I mean, we had thought about doing a Mean Girls reference, but we decided to do the Barbie Girl one instead.
It's your social media. You can do what you want.
And also, it was the senior kids. It wasn't it wasn't the team that, you know, has the big competition. And so we posted it, and then one of the girls was like, hey, did you see, like, TikTok, whatever? And I was like, no. Like, I'm not paying attention that much. Also, like, we all get on it. So when I get on it, I don't see notifications that you might have seen. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I went to go look at it, and there were athletes commenting, basically saying, like, you know, like, we're the real Barbie girls, like, thinking that we were gonna, like, take their theme or something, and I'm like,
and I'm choosing to believe that their coaches don't know about
I
it.
don't think they do. I don't think they do, because I think that was straight 12-year-old kids, like 10, 12-year-old kids.
But hopefully someone can tell them that's, you know, that's poor sportsmanship.
I saw your comment back, and your comment back was very professional, and it was very
like,
true.
No, this is our senior team. This is just practice wear.
One comment, no duh. And I'm just like, kids, I just can't reason with them sometimes.
I know, and I was like,
especially teenagers.
Yeah, because someone was like, is this y'all's theme? And then I guess another person from their team or whatever was like, no, duh, like, based on the song. And I'm like, no. I'm like, one, this is our senior kids, and two, this is just practice wear. Like, we don't have themes, like, whatever. So I wanted one for that to be out there, because I don't want people, whether it's kids or coaches, to get the idea that we would ever try to rip something off of somebody, because again, that is not who we are. We do not want to copy people. We do not want to do anything that can come off rude or vengeful or snarky or whatever. I have a fun but when you have 10 to 12-year-old kids on a team, you kind of got to tell them, like, you say nothing, you do not comment back. And I was proud of them.
And that's what we told them. We
said,
don't you
dare comment. They saw it before we did, and they still never commented back. So I was already proud of them.
Right,
I was already so proud of you girls. So proud. I was already so proud of them for bringing it to our attention, for one. And then when I went on it, I was a little hesitant to see if any of our kids responded to them, and nobody did.
Good.
So
well, we're raising them right.
They better stay that way.
We had our hip hop teams, you'll know.
Yes.
And we had it was like we just did like a half-year hip hop team. We went to 2 competitions. It was only for like 4 or 5 months. Well, we had one dancer that had danced at another studio in the area audition, make the team, because she can't take hip hop at the studio she was at. It just wasn't offered. There was no hip-hop team. She wanted to be on a hip-hop team. Oh, there's one offered. There's no rules. You can't dance at 2 studios in the same area. There's never been that rule.
Wow.
And so...
there is for us.
Well, I guess it was more like...
That's not like us. That's like
USASF.
Like,
yes. Like,
not like our rule. Like, USASF won't let you compete at two
different gyms.
Got it.
In the same season.
Got it.
Yes.
I guess because there's no, like, we don't have that.
Like a governing body.
Yes. So, I guess I didn't care. I didn't care that she was dancing there and then dancing with me. And I later found out I got a call from this dancer and her mom telling me that she was also a teacher at So Studio, that she got let go because she was dancing for me. She got let go. She's still able to dance there, but she lost her job because she was dancing with me. So she didn't want her to tell me anything that was going on at her studio.
It's fine. We hired her instead.
We did. Yeah, we did. We did hire her. And she finished her senior year with us.
And now she's in college living her best life.
Yeah.
And to me, stuff like that makes me so mad, because you take opportunities away from kids because you feel threatened.
Well, she wasn't offering it. She doesn't offer that.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
So we have an athlete who won future flyer face-off. She's a great little athlete. And she is good at co-ed stunting. We're an all-female staff.
Yeah.
So where's she gonna learn to co-ed stunt? Like,
Yeah.
she obviously needs to go to another gym to learn to co-ed stunt. And, you know, she travels all across the country going to all these other gyms. You know, she goes to more local gyms, I guess would say, like Austin, Dallas, and Houston area. And I have zero problem with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, like, if there's something that another gym can offer that I don't offer, I'm not going to tell your kid, no, you get to miss out on an opportunity because I feel too threatened
Right.
or something.
Well,
that just makes me mad.
Right, and I have some kids that go to different studios in the area, and they want to come to us because I also offer acro, but they're scared. They're scared.
And that's just sad. You know, I feel like as a gym owner or studio owner that you don't have the right to tell kids what they can and cannot do and which studio they can and cannot go to. Like, you have zero claim to these kids.
Right.
Like, they are their own human beings. Now, if you're their mama, sure. But, like, you're not.
What about, like, I mean, hearing things like not allowing to follow other studios on, like, social media and stuff? Like, that happens at studios. They'll say, if I see you...
That is an infringement of your First Amendment right.
We don't care.
We
do not care.
Girl, we follow other gyms ourselves.
Yeah,
and
our
we're like,
gym
oh.
follows other gyms.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know if that's like, I don't know if it's because
Maybe the dance is the dance world more petty.
No. It's just some pettiness in this area. This isn't how it's supposed to be, and that's what I wish I could screech, preach from the rooftops. It doesn't have to be like this.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like I'm, like, talking to them right now.
See, I feel
it doesn't
like-
have to be like that.
Yeah,
And
we follow each, like, all different gyms, D1 gyms, D2 gyms, and those gyms have liked our post or commented on our post,
Yeah.
and we've done the same thing with
Right.
them, and so we, like, there's no, like, you can't follow people type deal. Now, I will say that there is, like, the story earlier of that one gym that we have animosity
Yeah, no,
with,
we
we
ain't following
purposely
them.
don't follow them.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what...
You know what I mean? Because, one, I don't want to seem like a nosy Rosie, and two, it's just, I feel like that makes things more awkward.
Yeah.
Sometimes. You know how, like, some people think you follow other people out of, like, pettiness or whatever, and
Or
so,
to spy on them or
yeah,
something.
so I try to steer clear of following, honestly, that one single only gym.
Yeah, I
because
think we
of that
follow
issue.
most other gyms in the
Yeah.
area. But again, you know, for me, like, we've had a lot of our athletes go take private lessons or something at local gyms. I mean, like, the gyms that are, like, super close to us, like, there's one coach in the area who is great, and I've heard great things about her, and, like, my kids will go take private lessons with her, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, that, I do not feel threatened whatsoever about it.
Especially since we went through a time where me and Katie had no time to do private lessons with any of our kids. Because
And I mean,
of
we still
teens.
have, like, no time.
Yeah.
So, you know, for them to go seek her expertise, which she has a lot of, it does not hurt my feelings. If it betters my athletes, that's totally fine. And in the end, if they wanted to leave to go train with her, I'd be like, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's totally okay. You're more than welcome to. That's your right. I would never, but I'm not going to, you know, say negative words about that gym owner or her program or anything else. I think we're very different programs. And also, I don't know why studios got beef in this area, because Bastrop is big enough to accommodate everyone. We could have a full program and then some.
And then some.
And so, you know, I want to say there's enough to go around. Now, maybe if we were in Smithville with a population of like 4,200, you know, might be a little more cutthroat, but we're not.
And we also, like, our kids, we encourage our kids to go to, like, clinics offered at different gyms.
For sure, especially when they have those guest coaches.
Oh,
Like, go.
100%.
Yeah. So, like, we've had kids go to other D2 gyms that we compete against on a regular basis. Our kids have gone to major D1 gyms to do either private tumbling lessons there or clinics there, college combine stuff. So, like,
Yeah.
we encourage our kids to do whatever is going to benefit them and make them better as an athlete, because ultimately a lot of our athletes, their goal at the end of this is to go to school for cheerleading.
Yeah.
So, like McKenna, for instance, like, because she's started so young doing co-ed stunning and stuff like that, she has a greater opportunity for when she is a senior in high school looking at colleges to be able to go to a college that most people would die to go to.
Yeah.
Because she not only has her tumbling skills, because she's just naturally talented in that area, but she took a lot of time out to travel to these different places for her to learn how to be a great co-ed stunner.
Yeah. And it's not our, area to say, like, if we would have told McKenna, no, you can't go to those gyms because I'm not okay with it, like, she would not be, she would probably, I can tell you right now, she would not be an athlete here because her mama and daddy would have said, no, we are.
Yeah.
But two, you would have just held her back.
Right. There's nothing wrong with expanding your horizons.
Yeah.
No.
If you feel threatened, then you have your own insecurities to worry about. Spend more time working on your business rather than worrying about our business.
Period.
And I think that needs
Point
to be in
blank.
the preview video.
Yes.
That's really what it is. And people will say it's not jealousy because there's so much growth here in Bastrop. There's room for all studios, and I think there's 4 in Bastrop County, 4 or 5, and there's room for all of us to grow, and there's tons of kids, and so we can all be successful. And if a kid wants to come here for acro but go somewhere else for ballet, then yay. I want them to be an all-rounded dancer because you said it right. When they get to senior and they want to audition for a college dance team, maybe I didn't put that much effort into them when it comes to ballet, but someone else did. Because I do have some dancers that will go to Ballet Austin, and it's just that's great. I love it for them.
And also, too, I think we're all confident enough to say that we have an area of expertise. Like, if someone came to me for, like, dance choreography, I'd be like, you gonna lose. That is not my forte.
But tap, you'd got it, right?
Yeah, totally. One time, I almost had to teach a tap class, and I was gonna cry.
Oh my god.
She did. It was when I was on vacation.
Heel toe.
Thank God,
toe.
only
Okay,
one
class is
kiddo
over.
showed up, and I knew who the kid was, and so I was like,
It just
I'm
worked
so
out.
sorry.
We're gonna do a makeup class.
Can y'all do a makeup class? You don't want me to teach that?
Oh, that would have been so funny though.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do a switcheroo day. Not when competition season's over. That'd be really fun.
Yeah, during the summer.
Like a switcheroo day where we switch. Those kids would be.
We can give you, like, showgirls.
That'd be fun.
And we can put together a routine and then show each other.
I'm dead.
I
wouldn't even know where to start with the stunts. I wouldn't even know where to. Like, I did Bastrop High School cheer, but I watch y'all, and you know what goes through my mind? Like, when all this stuff is happening, like, it's like a full production number happening right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my brain is like, oh, she's doing something different. Oh, and so there's so much that goes to it, and I just wouldn't know where to start.
Good. It makes me feel good that you don't know where to look, because that's the point. You're not supposed to know where to look in a routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Ooh.
Makes you feel any better when I watch dance. I'm like, oh, that was so pretty. And you're like, that sucked. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? That looked great.
Suck. Hard word.
Apologies. She probably did not say that.
No. There's always room for improvement.
And I'm talking about my own kid. Before anybody gets their feelings hurt, I'm talking about my own kid.
There's always room for improvement. She had her best practice last week. She really did.
Good.
It was really good.
She always is willing to show us her routine, so I'm sure we'll see
She
it
kills
again
me.
a million times
No,
before
it's her
competition.
little additions that she adds. And I'm like, I didn't choreograph that. And she just... I did not tell her to do that. Yeah, that's another thing. We offer competitive dance for 4-year-olds. Like, not a lot of studios do that. That's
We
really
do, too.
young.
We have a family who ended up coming here from, again, not local, but not local gym, because they didn't have anything for her daughter at that age, and her daughter is good. She's on our novice team, but they just didn't have anything for that age, so they ended up coming here, which I'm grateful for, because, I mean, she's great, but...
Yeah, and that can be another thing. And a lot of, like, dancers, like, when they get to those, like, teenage years, like, a lot of them, like, they either stick through it or they don't. And so, especially, like, in this area, you don't see a lot of older dancers. And I feel like right now, like, we're raising a good group of dancers, older dancers, and we have more coming in. But other dancers will leave and have left other studios to dance with kids their age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because there has been times where I've seen studios where they only have, like, 2 older girls or 3 older girls, and they want to dance. I mean, I grew up dancing like that, and then when my mom moved me to a different studio outside of Bastrop, there was just, like, I was on a team of 9, and they were all my age. And so, and you can't get better unless you surround yourself with people that are better than you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I understand why some mamas will move their kids so they can be with kids their age. And I've had parents tell me that.
I think for us, it's kids move because we might not offer a level for them.
Yeah.
So we have...
Which sucks in a sense because we are a growing program. So to see a kid who leave to go to another gym who's obviously like 25 years old, like the gym is 25 years old, because they have that level, it kind of sucks because, like, we'll get there. I just wish people would stick around so we can get there, because like when people leave, it hurts because it sets us back again.
Because we definitely...
But we are also not forcing levels.
No. We are definitely... Our level of growth will definitely come with our younger kids than our older kids. And that is just simply because we raised those kids compared to getting older kids who have been taught tumbling or their basic tumbling from other gyms. So then you kind of have to, like, reteach, or, like, their mindset's a little bit different because their coaches were different from us or whatever it may be. So our senior teams have taken a little bit longer. And I will say, like, most of the time when we lose kids, it is because either they realize they don't really love the sport as much as they thought they would. They're not progressing, so they don't feel like happy all the time because they're not progressing, and so they'll take a step back from it and just do tumbling classes. But for All-Star Program 1, we have lost 3 kids to other gyms just because, over the span of 5 years, because either 1, we didn't offer a level for them, or 2, they either moved or that gym is closer to them and they do offer something that we may not offer. It's like we have a kid who the distance to this one gym is the same distance to our gym, but they offer a level that she has skills for. And we have other kids here who also have the skills for that level, but it's her senior year.
Yeah, and we don't force levels.
Yeah,
so,
we don't.
like, we may be there tumbling-wise, but we are not there stunting-wise.
Correct.
You know?
Yep, and so she is spending her senior year at that gym on the level that she deserves to be on, like, no doubt. But, yeah, I think that's sometimes an issue that we can get into is those kids who do travel 40 minutes here, but there's also another gym that's 40 minutes away that ends up having the level that they want or need, and they make it. Sometimes the kids don't make it and they stay. And so that kind of sucks. And, like, I will say, like, you know, we've been talking about other people being, you know, having these reactions towards us or not being very nice, but I've had plenty of moments where I've been a little petty, and Katie's like, we're being petty, and I'm like, you're right, I'm sorry, but it's just so hard sometimes.
I mean, I think that's human nature too. Like, I'm not saying we're perfect and we've never said anything bad or felt a certain way.
We are not perfect,
but, you know, it's growth when, like Cassidy says, when I'm like, come on, Cass, we're being petty, that we're like, oh, you're right, okay.
Let's move on.
And one thing I can say for certain is we never say these things in front of the kids.
Nope.
Like, maybe behind closed doors, venting frustrations, but, like, I will never say anything negative about another gym in front of the kids. So, if they ask questions, though, I ain't gonna I'll tell them. I'm not gonna lie to the kids.
That's
like,
the same way I am.
Like,
if
they'll
they
ask
me,
us,
I'll
like,
tell them.
do you think that we did better? Or, like, do you think that they deserved that? And we'll be honest and try to be, like, unbiased, and we'll break it down. Like, we do think they definitely outscored you in these places, but we don't see how they outscored you in these others. And
or like when that one gym that we have, I don't even want to say we have beef with, because I don't care.
Yeah.
That we had some negative experiences with. Like I said, they got a dose of their own karma. which I hate to see for the kids, but like when our kids came and asked us, oh my God, did you hear why? Like, why did that happen?
We didn't tell them.
Well,
Oh, you did?
I did straight up tell them what happened. I mean, I don't see any point in, not telling them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Sometimes these kids know more than I do.
yeah, and
It's true. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
Some mom went through the comments on Facebook
and found out every reason as to why something happened. And we're like, damn.
Yeah, and so honestly, I just read verbatim what those comments were
And
to
we
those
also,
kids.
our kids are not saints either, but they get punished for not being saints. So like,
Hey,
we're
if
at
you
a
see my
competition.
team doing push-ups or running backstage, mind your business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we were at a competition once, a bid competition, obviously, and this team had a major stunt fall, but I can't remember if it was the flyer or the guy. One of them got hurt in the major stunt fall.
Oh, it was the guy.
It was the guy.
I know what you're
So they had to clear the floor and take the team off. But when it happened, one of our athletes kind of like was like, yes, and like jumped. And
Guess who ran?
Ooh, we grabbed her real quick, and her mama did too. So, but we grabbed her real quick, and we were like, no, you are running when we get back to the gym. We don't do that.
Yeah.
You know that. And she knew. Like, you're right, I'm sorry, like, whatever. And I'm like, you better hope this doesn't come and bite us in the butt, because if it does, I'm going to be so mad.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it didn't bite us in the butt. But, and everyone ended up being okay. They came back on and redid the routine. But, like, again, our kids aren't saints because they're kids.
Yeah.
And so when
But
we
listen,
catch
some
them
of y'all are
saying
adults,
things,
so.
we call them
Yeah.
out. So,
Well, they learn them from somewhere. Not our kids, because we don't do that. So, but yeah, that no kids are saints. They'll say stuff, and you just gotta. It's the coaches and the teachers that tell them right from wrong, that's the ones that are worth sending your kid to. At least in my opinion.
I know it's hard. It is a competitive freaking sport. It's like, I know it's hard to not, like, want to be like, but we did better.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they won. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Nothing's gonna change. Like, it sucks, but you just gotta be the bigger person about it and just move on from any situation that you are not happy with.
Right.
Yeah. Moral of the story is there's always going to be someone better than you. You're always going to have competition. It is what it is. It's all about how you handle yourself and how you're teaching your athletes how to handle themselves in those negative situations. It'll take them far in life. It's a life lesson.
Yep.
So again, be nice to your competitors.
Absolutely.
Keep it classy.
Don't let karma come get you in the booty.
All right. Until next time.
Keep your coffee hot.
And your toes pointed.
Bye.